Hey, good morning, everybody. This is President Local 2338, Kevin Ellis. I got two updates I want to give you this morning. The first one is Parker Faulkner. Uh, Funeral services are today. As many of you know, that Parker Faulkner was the union's retirement guru. He built the company Retire Happy Network, and Parker did pass away on July 24th, and his funeral services are going to be today. It was unexpected. Definitely a shock for everybody. If you knew Parker, Parker was full of life, full of joy, always had a joke to tell, always making fun of something. That was just Parker. But he did pass away. For those of you that have services with Parker, we want to tell you that um, he had built a company and his son worked with him in that business. And that not only did his son work with him, but Parker built a team around him, and that team consisted of a lot of Christian saved people who had the same spirit as Parker. They were upbeat, they were full of laughter, they were full of joy, and they always want to have and see the best for anyone needing retirement services or federal employees seeking their assistance. So know that Parker's may not be with us or will not be with us any longer, but his company is still in place. The people he put in place there with him will continue to operate the company for him and on his behalf. Okay, so it is true. Parker did pass away on July 24th. Some of you probably saw it already out on Facebook about a week or so ago. The body finally made it back from Portugal, and the services are today. And I didn't find that out until about 48 hours ago. That the services were going to be on today. The other thing I want to share with you this morning, real quickly, is you probably seen and heard about the injunction being lifted on the union contracts being terminated. Let me be very clear and help you understand what is taking place here. The executive order was signed sometime in March of 2025, just like executive orders were signed back in 2018, 2019, and 2020. They were all invalidated then. We expect for the same thing to happen here as well. But the executive order was signed back in March of 2025. A federal judge put an injunction on it based upon federal law. Federal law and Congress are the ones. Federal Congress is the one that said unions or should have a contract and the right to negotiate and bargain. That is solidified in federal law. That's in law. Okay, and that was put in place by Congress. When the federal district judge ruled and said the executive order was illegal, it was based upon the law that's in place and the will and the wish of Congress. So that is still on the table. That is still moving forward. So the injunctions put everything on hold. And the appeals court last week lifted the injunction and said, hey, the injunction should not have been put in place. There's no reason for the injunction to be there. Therefore, they lifted the injunction. So what the secretary did was acted upon that executive order, although it's going through the process and says that there are no contracts. We expect for the federal law to uphold. We expect for the all of that process to continue working through, to go through the judicial system, and we expect for the contracts to all be reinstated pretty soon. That's what I'm expecting. So, with that being said, I'm going to ask you guys to do a few things. One of them is we want you to exercise your faith over fear. We know that faith and fear cannot operate in the same atmosphere. They just cannot. So we're asking you to have faith over fear. We're asking you to have hope over despair, and we ask you to have strength over weakness. And you have to keep in mind and know that when someone wants to overturn federal laws and precedent, it's done for all the wrong reasons. We know that. We are completely aware of that. So I want you to exercise your faith. The scripture says that Um, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but He's given us a spirit of power, love, and of a sound mind. That's the scripture. And I'm asking all of you today and across the country to rely upon the scripture that has gotten you uh, this far in your life. Still rely upon that scripture, okay? Because it is life changing, it is life saving. All right. And I believe if you do that, I believe you will, like me, you know that we're going to have a victorious outcome. Okay. You can't always stop somebody from doing the wrong thing up front, but we know that right is right and wrong is wrong. And we sincerely believe right will prevail. God bless you and have a good day.